More than 50 billion people around the world are living by fishing. Half of the protein eaten by developing nations is seafood. Since the 1970s, fishing species has drastically declined. We need to take a stand to conserve our fish. The purpose of my speech is to inform my audience about fish conservation. Fishing is a sport that many people enjoy. Nothing is better than a day on the water. Fishing provides peace and tranquility. There are several ways we can conserve our fish, but we're just going to discuss three. We need to stabilize the fish population, protect fish habitat, and protect the water quality. Doing this doesn't cost a dime. It only takes a little effort. Remember, the worst day fishing is better than the best day working. In order to stabilize the fish population, we need to follow state laws. For instance, if you're a commercial fisherman, you have to follow the laws regarding how many you can keep and the size limits. It is also necessary to follow the laws regarding specific species. This will ensure fishing for generations to come. Sports fishermen should follow state and local laws set forth by the Wildlife, Fisheries, Parks, and the Department of Marine Resources. For conscientious anglers, can report poachers, as cited from the article AdventureHowStuffWorks.com. You can report the poachers to the Fisheries and Wildlife Park or the Department of Marine Resources. Following local conservation agencies' recommendation and keeping only what you need will also help. There are laws in place to assist with us protecting different species. Some include size limit, the amount we can keep, and even not keeping certain species. Now that we have discussed how we can stabilize the fish population, I would now like to discuss how we can protect the essential fish habitat. If you work near explosives, when using them, don't get near water. Be mindful if you're working in construction. If you own equipment, make sure that there is no oil or fuel leaking into the water. It could cause erosion and leak into the streams. On a side note, fishing is never allowed by explosives. In 2005, Kimberly Escobar wrote about trying to protect the areas that could have eggs, juveniles, spawning adults, and organisms, which they feed and migrate. The third and final point I would like to discuss is water quality. Now, just because it's the third and final point doesn't mean it's the least important. As a matter of fact, it may be the most important. Never allow grease or any other types of things that are chemicals to go down your drains. If you have pills that you don't need anymore, do not put them down the toilet, flush them, or allow them to be crushed in your sink's disposal. This can hurt the water. If you're working near or area of water, be careful not to introduce any new substances such as clay or sand. It can cause erosion. Tons of trash is dumped in our beaches daily or yearly. We can organize small groups to go around and pick up the trash in our lakes, ponds, bays, oceans, and streams. If we don't protect the water quality, then there will be no fish or the habitat to protect. Therefore, this is why I believe it's the most important thing regarding fish conservation. As we discussed earlier, there are several ways we can protect our fish. However, it is our livelihood, and action should not be taken lightly. We can protect the fish population, we can stabilize it, we can protect the water quality and the fish habitat. If we don't work together to conserve our fish, we may unintentionally deplete them and never be able to get them back. Fishing is a privilege that we tend to take lightly. Let's each do our part to conserve the fish.